Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thanks so much for joining us. My name is Tanya Neitzert, and I'm one of the partners at Boreala Management. For your information, we are expecting our webinar to last between 30 to 45 minutes today. We're about to get started, but before we jump into the content of our webinar, I wanted to take the time to quickly introduce you to our presenters and to go over some brief technical points with you. Boreala Management is a consulting company headquartered in Montreal, but supporting clients across the country with their human resources and organizational effectiveness needs. We have a team of subject matter experts in various domains and offer consulting services across 6 service lines. These service lines are strategy, culture, and team engagement, organizational effectiveness and governance, human resources fundamentals, talent management, compensation, and organizational transformation and change management. Although we work with clients from all industries, we have extensive experience working with indigenous governments and organizations, including band councils, school commissions, health boards, and private sector companies. Our ultimate goal is to help our clients to build capacity through their people. So as I mentioned, I'm Tanya, and as one of the partners in the company, my role is to oversee the delivery of all projects across Boreala Management to ensure quality and best practice approaches are applied. I'm also an account manager for various Indigenous client accounts and have a lot of experience working in First Nations environments, specifically in the North, with some of you joining today's webinar, I'm sure. I'm joined today by a member of our team, Sarah Todd-Levesque. Sarah is one of our expert human resources consultants and has over 10 years of experience working in the financial services and technology industries in the areas of human resources, operations, and management. She also works extensively with our First Nations clients, assisting them with their talent management challenges. Sarah has been instrumental in the development of the 4Talent framework and is going to be walking us through the framework today and giving you some valuable insights into how you can benefit from looking at your talent management practice in an integrated manner. I'm really excited for Sarah to be delivering all of this to you today. But just a few technical points for the webinar before we begin. So in this screenshot, you should see an icon of what your screen looks like. So for the top left menu that you can see there. So pay attention to the Animator tab, because if you need to communicate with us, this is how you'll do it. So first of all, if you encounter any technical challenges, you can use this Animator tab. Our analyst, Mathieu, is going to be alongside us today as our moderator and will monitor and respond to any technical challenges. Say a quick hello, Mathieu.
Hi, everyone.
Also, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please also use the Animator tab. We'll actually wait till the end to answer the questions, but we will keep a few minutes to do so don't hesitate to ask. Finally, just a quick mention that we will have some polls today, so be ready to click answers from time to time. So you'll have to submit your answer directly on the screen, but as Sarah goes through those polls, she's going to give you more instructions. Finally, as a takeaway for joining us today, we will be sharing details on how you can get access to a mini assessment that will help you identify some of your talent management pain points. We'll also outline how you can discuss the results of your assessment in a 30-minute consultation with one of our experts. So we'll give you more information about that at the end of the webinar. So now that we've covered all the technical points, let's get started. I'm going to hand you over to Sarah now. Take it away, Sarah.
Thank you, Tanya, for that great introduction. Hi, everyone. I hope that your day is off to a great start. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules for this webinar. I'm very excited to be here today to talk to you about Boreala's 4Talent framework. Our objectives for today's session are to introduce our talent management framework and its components, and review the benefits of our framework and learn how it can be applied within your organization. By the end of this session, you will have a better understanding of our 4Talent framework and its benefits, And you will also know how you can find out more information about our framework, as well as how to apply it within your organization. The 4Talent framework can be applied to all organizations, no matter the industry that you're in. All right, let's get started. The 4Talent framework is a model for integrated talent management. But before we jump into this model, I think a good place for us to start is by defining talent management to make sure that we're all on the same page. Since talent management is a term that's used quite extensively across the business world and may mean different things to different organizations, let's start by looking at good old Wikipedia's definition on talent management to make sure that we all have the same understanding. According to Wikipedia, talent management refers to the anticipation of required human capital for an organization and the planning to meet those needs. So what is talent management? Essentially, talent management is about understanding what your future talent needs will be and putting integrated strategies in place today in order to meet those needs in the future. Now I want to hear from you and what you think about talent management. Let's start by doing a quick poll. So in your opinion, why is talent management important? Is it because it supports the retention of high-performing and engaged employees? It encourages rewards and recognition based on performance and contribution? Is it because it ensures that talent management policies and practices are aligned with current and future organizational objectives? Or is it all of the above? Please select your answer and then click on the confirmation button on the top right corner of the question box. We'll give you a minute to respond. Okay, so you won't see this information on the screen, but here's a breakdown of how everyone responded. Oh, I see some more answers coming in, so I'll just wait another second or two here. Great, so here's the breakdown. 64% of you, said all of the above. 7% thinks that talent management is important because it supports the retention of high-performing and engaged employees. And 21% believe that talent management is important because it ensures that the talent management policies and practices are aligned with current and future organizational objectives. In fact, talent management contributes to all of these options and more. In a nutshell, talent management supports organizations with finding the right people, skilling them up, and keeping them engaged. Talent management is a critical challenge for organizations everywhere. It is not only important for the engagement and retention of your employees, but also for the performance and growth of your organization. For those of you joining us from a First Nation community, I'm sure that you'll agree that talent management only gets more challenging when you add in the scarcity of local talent and the issue of enticing experienced professionals to relocate to remote regions. The truth is, when it comes to talent acquisition, it's a challenge across all of Canada. Did you know that about 40% of Canadian small and medium-sized businesses find it difficult to find and hire new employees? And this situation will only continue to worsen as our population ages and baby boomers retire. In our research, we found that organizations that are most affected by labor shortages are 65% more likely to experience low growth. We also found that companies with strong HR policies are 66% more likely to keep current employees, attract new ones, and experience higher growth. Strong HR policies, such as an ambitious yet realistic integrated talent management strategy, will surely help you with your talent acquisition. And not only will it help with attracting talent, It will also help you to develop and retain the talent that you worked so hard to get. There are so many benefits to talent management. What if I said to you that you can take your independent talent management practices and tailor it to your specific organizational needs in a way that it'll help you to achieve your long-term business objectives? That is what is called integrated talent management. Integrated talent management occurs when an organization's talent management practices such as recruitment, performance management, and compensation are aligned and working together to achieve a common long-term objective. Now, we recognize that this is a lot easier said than done. This is why we have created our 4Talent framework. It is a practical, integrated talent management framework that'll guide organizations with developing their own unique global talent management strategies. Our 4Talent framework consists of 4 elements: talent planning, talent acquisition, talent development, and talent rewards. As an HR professional or business leader, you are likely already engaging in 1, 2, or all 4 of these elements. And I am sure that there are areas where your organization is excelling and other areas which require a little more TLC. Let me ask you this: are your talent management practices integrated? Are the goals and strategies of your talent management policies, practices, and initiatives aligned with your organization's long-term strategy? Do you have a clearly defined talent management strategy? And if so, is this strategy shared and understood across your organization? Now, I'm confident that most of you on the call didn't answer yes to each of these questions. The truth is, very few organizations probably can. Let's face it, no organization is perfect, and there's always room to grow. Each organization is at a different stage in their journey, and for some, the room for improvements can seem quite overwhelming. But we're here today to break this down for you in a practical way. By now, you all probably have a good understanding of what integrated talent management is. And I'm sure that there is more than one person sitting on this call thinking to themselves, wow, this is a lot of work. And you're right, it is a lot of work. But trust me when I say it's worth it. By integrating your talent management practices with your organization strategy, you'll see higher levels of employee performance, increased engagement from your employees, higher employee retention, and an increase in the capacity of your organization. There's no doubt that talent management will enable your organization to accomplish more. You'll be able to succeed on day-to-day operations while working towards your organization's long-term strategic objectives. So yes, designing an integrated talent management framework that is aligned with the strategy of your organization may be a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. As we've discussed, talent management is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Different organizations have different talent management needs. And your talent management strategy must be tailored to the specific context of your organization. As I mentioned in the previous slides, our 4Talent framework is made up of 4 elements: talent planning, talent acquisition, talent development, and talent reward. And I'm confident that you're all familiar with each of the 4 elements of our 4Talent model as an independent business function. But today, we'll focus on the benefits of each element when it's part of an integrated talent management framework. Our framework is designed in a way where each element is closely integrated with the organization's foundation in order to effectively achieve its specific current and long-term goals. An organization's foundation is made up of its mission, vision, values, strategy, and culture. And this is the foundation of our 4Talent model. And each element of our 4Talent model comes from this foundation. By integrating the 4 elements of the 4Talent framework with the organization's foundation, it generates benefits at an organizational, employee, and candidate level. We'll now go through each element of the framework and discuss some of these benefits. Our 4Talent model starts with talent planning. This is what will set the tone and direction for all the other elements. Talent planning consists of identifying the core competencies that apply to everyone within the organization, determining your current and future workforce needs, and identifying critical positions to plan for succession needs, and to create a pool of high potential internal and external candidates. Organizations that engage in effective integrated talent planning are able to make strategic talent decisions and be proactive in addressing their talent needs. Their employees are aware of the career development opportunities that are available to them. And this also appeals to candidates because this level of transparency allows them to see that there are opportunities for professional growth and development within the organization. Now, once your planning is complete, it's a good time for you to begin building out the other elements of the 4Talent framework. Let's start by looking at talent acquisition. In our 4Talent framework, talent acquisition consists of defining and implementing a recruitment strategy that addresses your current and future recruitment needs, developing a process for onboarding and integrating new employees that reinforces your organization's culture and values, and defining and communicating a clear employee value proposition. For those of you who are unfamiliar with an employee value proposition or an EVP, essentially, it is how the labor market and employees perceive the value an employee gains by working for your organization. A strong employee value proposition will not only help you to attract candidates, but it'll also help you retain your top employees. So when integrated into the strategy of your organization, talent acquisition results in a stronger pool of candidates and ensures the appropriate selection of candidates based on relevant criteria. It also encourages employees to apply to or make referrals for internal positions. And of course, when the benefits for working for an organization are clear, it results in greater external interest. No less important than talent acquisition is talent development. From an integrated perspective, talent development consists of identifying training and development needs at an organizational and individual level, orienting and supporting employees in their career progression, and defining and implementing an approach to appreciate and recognize the contributions of your employees. In our 4Talent framework, talent development creates a stronger internal talent pool to support with building long-term organizational capacity. The transparency around potential training and career opportunities engages employees and gives them something to strive for. And it's also incredibly appealing to candidates to know that the organization is committed to supporting and developing their employees. The last element of our 4Talent framework is talent reward. Talent reward within our 4Talent framework consists of designing and implementing a compensation strategy, defining and distributing non-monetary rewards, and developing formal and informal employee recognition programs. Strategically designed talent reward practices that are fair, efficient, and affordable enables organizations to reward individuals and teams based on their contributions and behaviors. Through our 4Talent framework, it also provides transparency of the organization's compensation, benefits packages, and work environment to employees and candidates. Okay, now that we've gone through each element, I want to hear from you. Let's do another quick poll. So in your opinion, which element of the 4Talent framework does your organization struggle with the most? Is it talent planning, talent acquisition, talent development, or talent reward? Just like before, please select your answer and then click on the confirmation button on the top right corner of the question box. Okay, I'll let everyone just submit their answer now. So you won't see this information on the screen, but again, here's a breakdown of everyone's responses. Okay. So 7% of you said talent development, 35% put talent acquisition, and then the remaining put talent planning as being the biggest challenge to them. And of course, while every organization has different priorities and challenges when it comes to talent management, us at Boreala are confident that your organization will benefit from developing and implementing our 4Talent framework. Ultimately, our integrated 4Talent framework helps organizations to strengthen your organizational foundation by ensuring that your talent management strategy is embedded in all employee-related processes, build a global vision for talent management that is integrated with your organizational culture and strategy, and implement new or enhance existing talent management efforts. Overall, our 4Talent framework ensures that talent efforts are aligned with the organization's mission, vision, values, and strategy. Now I'm sure that you're all wondering how you can take our 4Talent framework and apply it to your organization. So to ensure that the 4Talent model generates the maximum benefits for you, we recommend an individualized approach that's customized to your organization's unique foundation. So if you were working with us to implement our 4Talent framework at your organization, we would first work with you to assess each element of the framework against your organization's foundation to determine the as-is state. Based on your organization's strategy, we would then define your to-be or ideal state and propose strategies and actions that'll bridge the gaps between as-is and to-be. Using this information, we would develop an action plan for who, what, when, and how to communicate and implement your employee-related process changes. And finally, we would implement measures to monitor the progress and impacts of these changes in order to make adjustments over time as needed. There are certain conditions, though, that need to be in place in order for the 4Talent framework to succeed in your organization. So as I said, there are two conditions that must be met for an integrated talent management model to be effective within your organization. And the first is strategic alignment. This means that your talent management strategy is aligned with your organizational culture, values, mission, vision, and strategy. Now, this is critical to ensure that your talent management strategy is practical and deeply rooted into the reality of your organization. When defining your talent management strategy, you must ask yourself questions such as, which behaviors should be encouraged from employees? What are the strengths of our culture? What are our core competencies? And what is the best structure for our organization? Of course, for strategic alignment to occur, your organization needs to have a clearly defined mission, vision, values, and strategy. But we'll get back to that in a minute. So now once you have strategic alignment, you can then get working on your integrated employee processes. This means integrating your talent management activities with your employee-related processes. For organizations to get the most out of their talent management practices, they must have mechanisms in place to ensure that they are planning for current and future needs, attracting and selecting the right audience, developing talent in a targeted way, and consistently and fairly rewarding employees for adding value. Here, talent planning is a great place to start in order to validate and ensure that your talent management practices are aligned. But let's go back and spend a bit more time on the strategic alignment piece. As discussed, strategic alignment is essential for ensuring that an organization's talent management practices are effective. So what can you do if your organization's strategy isn't clear? Ideally, your first step would be to meet with senior management to clearly identify the mission, vision, values of your organization. Now, this can be done through facilitated workshops to help articulate what it is that your organization stands for and where you are going. And once you have clearly identified your mission, vision, and values, you can then create clarity around the long-term strategy and direction of your organization. Now, I understand that this isn't always possible. There are times where you are unable to meet with senior management, or perhaps now isn't the right time to be putting top-level energy into defining or clarifying your organization's strategy. But as an HR professional, there are 5 steps that you can take. 1, you can arrange meetings with the managers from the different areas of the organization to discuss their current and long-term departmental goals and talent needs. Once you've had all these meetings, you could then consolidate this information from the various departments to gain a global perspective of the organization's long-term goals and talent needs. Using this information, you can complete your talent management planning and develop the strategy for each element of the 4Talent framework. It will then be important for you to validate your talent management strategies with senior management of your organization. And finally, it's essential that you reevaluate your strategy on a regular basis in order to ensure continued alignment and integration. Now, there is no doubt that having a talent management strategy is fundamental for the overall prosperity and well-being of your organization. Remember, the key to a successful talent management strategy is ensuring that all elements of the 4Talent framework are integrated in your organization's strategy and embedded in your people-related processes. We strongly believe that the 4Talent management framework can help you achieve this. So now what we're going to do is open up the floor for some questions. I'm going to invite Tanya back to help us with answering some of your questions. Please feel free to write in the animator chat box. And if we don't have time to get back to you today with any of your questions, we will reach out to you in order to respond offline, as it is important to us that we address everyone's questions. We do have one question that has come in throughout the conversation. So I will ask this to Tanya. So Tanya, one of our participants would like to know how this model can be adapted if they do not have enough resources.
Thanks, Sarah. So I'm going to assume that the question is about not having enough HR resources. And so if you don't have enough, like a big enough team internally to feel like you are able to take on an integrated talent management approach, I guess what we would think is that absolutely you can, even if you just have one person in your HR team. Obviously, if you're thinking about integrating all of the parts, using the model, you can think about how to integrate, planning, training, recruitment, and compensation all together, so that you're not just looking at it as a small part, but as a whole. So even if you don't have a big team in place, just considering that all of the elements are linked would be a great way to ensure that you're able to consider all of the parts.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question. If you want any follow-up, please feel free to include that into the chat. We do have a couple more questions, and so I will get Tanya's help for another one here. So someone else, they would like to know, so they currently have some talent management initiatives in place within their organization, but they want to work on improving and revamping their talent management strategy, but would like to know where to start.
Okay, well, that's a great question. So really where to begin is what we were talking about with the strategic alignment. So again, the 4Talent model is great at aligning all of the parts of the whole talent process, but without a plan or strategy, it's harder to really know where to define solutions. So the first place to begin really is to make sure that there is a strategy, the mission, vision, like we mentioned before, and from there you can then look at the different elements within the 4Talent model to see where the strengths are and where you might need some improvements. And of course, you can always do the mini assessment at the end, and that will help pinpoint some pain points as well. So that's a good way to start as well. But definitely start with a strategic alignment.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the mini assessment will be great for everyone to look at to assess their talent management initiatives.
For sure. I'm actually keen to see the results. Bring them in.
Excellent. Thanks, Tanya. We actually have one more question that we will go through before we move on. So this question here, it's a great one. So someone would like to know how the 4Talent framework can be adapted to meet the needs of the First Nations workforce.
For sure. So, well, at Boreala, we work fairly extensively with our indigenous clients. So actually, the 4Talent model was developed in a way that it is adapted already to the needs of all of our clients. And of course, because it's something you customize based on your own needs, that's why it's an effective model, we like to think. So, for example, I know in working with many of my clients, one of the real issues is talent shortage, local talent, as well as capacity building. So of course, when you're looking at your 4Talent model, you would consider what real issues are facing your own organization, and then you would identify solutions based on those specific challenges. So for example, if there's not enough talent locally, you may be focusing on developing your talent through training, etc. But the whole point of it is that by thinking of it in an integrated way, you're really customizing it to your own organization's needs and pain points.
Great. Thank you so much, Tanya. And thank you to everyone for participating in the webinar today. I truly enjoyed our time that we had together. I will now turn it over to Tanya, who will give you all the details about how you can access this recording of this webinar, the mini assessment, as well as the free consultation.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was great. Kind of fun for us to give this webinar as well. So as a takeaway for joining us today, we'd like to give you access to a free mini assessment that will help you identify some of the talent management pain points that your organization may have. So those of you who complete the assessment will have the opportunity to have a 30-minute free consultation with one of our experts to review your organization's results. So worth it. I recommend you do the assessment. So you can find the mini assessment in the downloadable files on the right side of your screen. So there's a little settings wheel that's circled in red on our screen, and then you can click on the downloadable files icon. So you can do this after the webinar. The mini assessment itself will help you pinpoint, as I mentioned before, some of your more pressing talent management issues so that you might be encountering in your organization. The assessment itself should only take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. And we will get back to you within about a week so that you can have the results and also to review your results with one of our talent management experts. Of course, if you don't have time to complete the mini assessment this afternoon, we will be following up with an email that will contain both the recording of today's session, so you can listen to it again and again, and as well as the link to the mini assessment, which we know you're going to want to complete. And of course, we will include more about how Boreala Management can support you and your organization, and we can provide more details on some of our 4Talent service options. And so if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So of course, our information is on the screen, info@Boreala Management, and of course the phone number there, 514-887-8670. Many of you work with Sarah or I, so of course you can always reach out directly to us. Otherwise, we are looking forward to following up with you by email so we can give you the additional information that we mentioned. And again, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. It's been really fun for us, and hopefully you've learned a lot as well. And we look forward to welcoming you at the next webinar, which will definitely be coming out soon. So thank you again.